Hi, how you all doing? Hope you're okay. A little bit anxious about this topic, and I'm quite surprised this topic has come forward for me personally to talk about, but I'm going with it. I don't even actually know whether this will make it to my page. We'll see how it goes. But I want to talk apprehensively, but I want to talk about the divine feminine energies. And if you know me personally, you probably understand why. I'm a bit like, me? Really? Really? But we'll go with it. See what comes through, shall we say. Now, if I say to you, Divine Feminine, you will have instantly, I'm assuming, I personally think you will, you'll have an instantaneous understanding of what you think Divine Feminine energy looks like. What is it for you? And where has that come from? So, I would imagine a lot of people, if I said divine feminine, oh, goddess energy, nothing wrong with that, we'll get to that. You know, delicate flowers, and each have their own place. So this is not actually being disrespectful. Yeah, I'm kind of going down the please don't take offence if you are a pampered princess, crown off to you. I'm not a pampered princess, that's all. That type of very, very feminine, flowy, pampered princessy, delicate flower type. Now that energy has its place, and that's fantastic. And if you can hold that, brilliant. That is a part of divine feminine energy. I am not knocking it. It sounds like I am. I am not. That's just not the version of divine feminine energy that I hold. So we'll get to that. But I think a lot of people, if you say divine feminine, when they're talking about gods and goddesses. Now, I have quite a I like the archetypal meanings or interest, intrigue behind gods and goddesses. So if you think I'm using that in any other term, I'm not. It's just I like the archetype behind it. I think it can teach us a lot. But if I say goddess to you, a lot of people do think like, floaty, pampered princess, crown, nothing wrong with that, got one myself. But it's a version of the divine feminine that they have let into their field. Now, where's that come from? If you think about the stories that you're told as you're growing up as a female, and as a male, to be fair, what are they? The pampered princesses, the princesses locked in a tower waiting to be rescued. There's a few out there. I'm not saying there's not, of the other side of the divine feminine. But a lot of our social programs around the divine feminine, it is that floaty, everything I'm not, I think. So yeah, we'll get to that. Now, I can run my mouth. I understand that. I can be confrontational when I want to be, not all the time. I've got that warrior spirit in me, shall we say. I think that's probably how I'm best to verbalize that. Does that make me any less of a divine feminine energy? No. Think to the goddesses of, Kylie, sorry, I can never pronounce it right. She's a goddess, but she's a fierce force to be reckoned with. Who is to say that the divine feminine has to be in 3D reality? That archetypal energy that comes through. Yeah, warriors have their place on this planet and they're needed. Yet the social programming, so for me personally, Why I struggle to talk about divine feminine is I've never been what I would call girly. It's just not. It's not the energy I hold. Doesn't make me any of a less of a divine feminine, but it isn't the energy I hold necessarily. It has its place, but I hold a bit more fire. But why I feel uncomfortable about talking about that is, I think, and I don't think this will just be me, growing up in a society where, the other side of the divine feminine clearly has its place, and then social programs that seem to suppress, let's use the word suppress, the design. There's a lot of social programming out there designed to suppress the female in all forms, suppress the warrior, suppress the, I want to say the floaty goddessy type, you know what I mean? Well, I'm hoping you do, and I'm hoping you don't take offence. Now, I think that energy is beautiful. I do, and there's a lot of people that I know that hold that energy, so I'm really not dissing that energy. It's just that my aspect of divine feminine is a bit more fiery, that's all. So it really isn't a criticism. I admire that energy. I think I'm a bit gobby for that. But we'll see. But it does. There's a lot of programming out there that suppresses the divine feminine energy. So I lost my divine feminine energy for a while completely, hold my hand up. She were gone. Why do you think those programs exist? I can see you now. Why do you think those programs... What is it in society that wants to suppress the female? And this is only my, partial perception at the moment, and that's why I'm a little bit nervous about talking about it, because I've got a long way to go with this, because it's not an energy I hold comfortably. It's an energy I'm bringing back, and it's an energy I'm working on within myself. I mean, I've said before, I wouldn't have sat in front of a camera even maybe a year ago. I wouldn't have had a chat with you, and especially when I talked about divine feminine energy. Anyway, why do you think those programs aim to suppress the feminine? Me personally, personal perception, if it doesn't resonate for you, fine, scroll on. If the females on this planet, now, sorry, divine feminine energy necessarily isn't just for the feminines out there, the females out there, those who have female body parts, because we all have both divine masculine and divine feminine energy in us, and it's bringing balance, but that's for another video. So if we can get to a point where we do unleash the divine feminine in all its forms, and in its pure form, what does that look like to you? Because that, to me, that's fire, that's creation, that's passion. And I personally think there's forces on this planet that doesn't sit with very well, and that's why they want to suppress it. But that's just my personal opinion. Because, if you've got people out there wanting to think outside the box, that are willing to stand there and go, no, that want to be creative, that are not willing to be submissive, that want to do things their own way, but in a good way, being creative and wanting to wanting to earn a living doing things that you're very passionate about, in a creative way, that's a really good thing to do. But that's not the aim of a society that wants to control you. So there is elements out there that benefit from suppressing the divine feminine energy. Because the divine feminine energy can be vocal. The divine feminine energy can stand there and she knows when to wield her sword, metaphorically. But she'll only use it when she needs to. The divine feminine can be floaty, goddess-like. Well, when I'm saying traditional goddess, see, goddess to me is like fire and, dragon and I don't think so type energy. But I'm meaning the other side of what a lot of people consider goddess energy to look like. That is awful powerful. That is powerful energy. That is powerful energy to hold. And when I say soft, it's soft in its essence, but it's powerful in its force. But that needs to rise. Both sides of the divine feminine need to rise on this planet. And that's something I want to champion. Yeah, I talk about unconditional love and that doesn't have to be soft, or that can be powerful, detached, I don't know. It can be warrior-like. But both of those aspects, and they have been suppressed. And to be fair, I think they've been vilified for a very long time on this planet. Because as soon as somebody stands there and goes, you know what? No, not having that.